My cat was so traumatized by the move from the US to Spain that she wouldn't use her litter box. Instead, she actually tried to poop all over me. I'm not sure if I've shared this story on this channel or my other channel, but everything that could go wrong with our trip when we moved from the US to Spain went wrong. What has me thinking about all of this is that we just took our pets for their annual shots, and we were reminded of how shocking the difference in pet care costs between the US and Spain are. To go from Orlando to Oviedo, it takes 3 flights. Well, not anymore because Iberia has since added a direct flight from Orlando to Madrid and back, and that was after we left. But as many of you may know, my husband is from here, Spain, so we're very familiar with the old route. We were traveling with 3 pets this time because we were moving, so we made sure to build in generous times for our connecting flights for this move. I mean, one, because Florida, at the end of the summer, the weather is amazingly unpredictable. I mean, Florida is the lightning capital of the US. 2, because flying through Newark Airport during Newark Airport rush hour is always a gamble. And 3, because traveling on airlines that are not codeshare partners is like asking for your bags to go missing and to never be found. And on this trip, we were flying with United and Iberia. We were supposed to sit in Newark during this trip for a few hours between the flights, and lightning in Orlando had us sitting for that time in Orlando. So we tried to make it for our connecting flight. They were both United flights, so we weren't worried about bags for this one. But by the time we made it to the gate, the door was already closed, and we missed that flight from Newark to Madrid. Usually, when we flew from Spain to Orlando, we would drive to Miami or fly to Miami, and then we take a flight on Iberia or American to Madrid. However, this time, since we were moving our pets, if we flew with American or Iberia, we would have had to check the pets because they didn't allow us to take them in cabin. The problem is it was hot in Madrid, and this is the time of year that they actually don't allow pets going in crate and being checked in under the plane. It's too hot. But United, they allowed us to bring all 3 pets in cabin. The most important thing, regardless of which airline we used, we had to make sure our pets were fully vaccinated, had all the necessary paperwork to support it. And this part is kind of costly if you're not prepared for it. Having the pets in cabin, each one of them was $150 to get them travel ready. It cost a little more than $300 per pet. And not every vet provides travel documents. The documents also needed to be submitted to the USDA and then returned to me so that we could travel. They're stamped. The first step was for us to find a vet that was accredited by the USDA for this process. And then looking at the receipts, each of our lovies had a comprehensive new pet exam for $35, and then we paid $275.63 each for their international health certificates. We also had to pay a flat $39.90 fee for the health certificate online from APHIS, and this was an electronic endorsement of the physical certificate. And if I remember correctly, we got this in case we lost the physical certificates. When traveling though, even though you have the electronic version, you have to have the physical certificate. All of this makes it even more shocking how much it costs to keep our pets here in Asturias. We ended up staying the night in Newark. We were prepared for this scenario. My husband is a prepper in certain senses. We set up a litter box for the cat. The dog enjoyed walks in Newark amongst all those lantern flies that had invaded the city. The next morning, we get up, we're ready to head to the airport. Turns out the cat didn't like her travel litter box. So she hopped on the hotel bed with me, she cuddled up in my lap and proceeded to poop on my legs. My husband sees what's happening and he grabs her, and all I see are turds flying through the air. It wasn't a great experience, but it makes a fantastic story. Anyway, we arrived in Madrid 24 hours after we were originally scheduled to. And since we'd missed our Iberia connection, we'd booked the cheapest ticket available. It just made more sense at that point for us to just rent a van and drive the 5 hours to Asturias. It took just as long to fly, even though it's a 1-hour flight, just the time spent waiting on the connecting flight, traveling to and from the airport to home. It just costs less than doing that and paying the additional luggage fees that we would have had to pay. So we've been here for 3 years with our pets, and every year they get their shots. And looking at the receipt for the last annual checkup for the pets in the States, which was in 2022. Here's the breakdown for the dogs and the cat. So for each dog, we had annual wellness exam at $36, the DHLPP booster was $37.93, and the canine flu vaccine was $43. The parasite poop test with Giardia was $52, and then the blood test was $47.50. There was a disposal fee for $5.50 and the Bordella vaccine at $25, and then there was blood work at $36, which gave us a total of $282.93 for each dog. And for the cat, hers came out to $152.50. Now let's look at the pets annuals here in Asturias. The canines vaccines altogether cost $104.40, and all the vaccines I mentioned for the dogs earlier are included in this price of €70. So now what used to cost me for one pet in the States is what I pay for 3 pets here in Asturias. What I know is that here, doctors and veterinarians earn way less than they do in the States. But what I also know is it costs less to survive here. And you don't just survive, you actually can thrive. I have some fun fall videos coming up. I hope to share some events that you may not have seen here in Asturias. I want you to subscribe if you haven't done so. Subscribe and select notifications to stay informed when the next video is released. My new house tour is in the works. We're in the midst of changing over the house for the fall and winter seasons. And once that's done, I'm going to share with you the house, the huerto, our granary, and show you what we'd like to convert into a workspace. Until then, let's chat in the comments. You can also post on my community page so we can talk on days that I don't post videos. And I'll see you so very soon. Okay, bye.